the stylist that likes to share. Here is Amber with knowledge and care. And if you like the vibe, like and subscribe. I got it. We're doing a curly type pompadour situation. So we already trimmed around the ears a little bit to get that nice and neat. I used my feather razor to keep it really soft. And I'll definitely be doing some more videos with some razor cuts in there. But today we're just going to focus on doing a little bit of a perm just on this top portion to give them some bounce up here. All right. So I already have done a clarifying treatment to get the hair squeaky clean and ready to go. And then I have a whole bunch of different color options over here for perm rods, from really fat ones to really skinny ones, but we're kind of going with a middle range, something a little more like natural, not too tight, something that'll just give a little bounce, a little curl, but not like a spirally, ringlety, or frizzy situation. Hopefully, right? That's the hope. We're just gonna roll everything going back, and I think I'm gonna kind of just do a brick lay pattern, and hopefully this won't take me very long, but I thought it would be fun to do this live. Perms are one of my favorite things to do, even though it is the thing that all the students hate. I actually really like them. So this is a fun time for me, and especially when we're just doing a little partial perm like this, you can get it done, for me anyways, a cut and a perm in under 2 hours. And yeah, and it really, especially like a lot of mullets now, a lot of guys are getting perms with that, or yeah, anybody really. So we're gonna get this wrapped up and permed, and we'll see how long it takes. And I'm also recording so I can do a YouTube video about perms. It is important to clarify before you start wrapping, so you get all of the minerals and buildup off of the hair and scalp that might interact with the chemicals of the perm. Also, make sure you follow your manufacturer's instructions. So when you're doing a perm, definitely always double check the instructions to make sure, because every perm is a little different, especially if the client has a little different situation going on with their hair. You want to make sure you are coordinating your timing so you're not frying anybody's hair. So, what made you decide to get a perm? Want to tell us your perm story?
I just feel like I needed something new, and I really do like how curly hair looks on shorter hair too. So
I think it's so cute.
Yeah.
All right, so I started with purple, and then I'm going to white. I'm not sure if I'll throw some orange rods in there or not, but I think I don't want to do orange because I don't want it to be too loose. And your hair is very healthy and very silky, so this will be good too because it will give the hair a lot more lift. When you have this fine silky hair, it tends to be really heavy, so sometimes a perm is really what you might need, which a lot of people would say I would never, but here we are. Were you one of those people?
No, but that's like what my mom was telling me.
Yeah. So if you are like thinking about a perm, you'll probably get about maybe 90% of your friends telling you don't do it.
Yeah.
But it's not so scary.
Yeah.
Well, and it does come back around, and it has again. So, you know, some people would say they will never perm hair, but I'm always up for anything. So here we go. So far, it's going pretty good. Time-wise, I want to make sure that when I'm wrapping, everything is nice and smooth and consistent. If I don't wrap the hair consistently and smoothly, and there's any bumps or lumps or anything, that's going to get permed into the hair. So it's really important that you are wrapping really nice and neatly, and you're taking care of how tight you have it, the tension being evenly dispersed all the way across, taking care of where your bands are as well. You don't want them cutting into the hair like this, or else you're gonna get a line permed into there. So you just wanna be really aware of where everything is laying, because how the hair, whatever shape it's in, when that solution hits it, that's what's gonna get permed into it. So if there's a dent from the strap of the rod or anything like that, it's gonna get permed into that. So it'll be permanently dented into your hair. Nobody wants that. Making sure everything's nice and smooth. It also helps if you get everything nice and wet before you wrap each section. So if it's starting to dry out, you'll definitely want to keep your water bottle handy. You'll notice each time that I put my end papers on there, most of the time I am saturating them with another spritz of water, and that really seals everything together. And then I can wrap it really neatly onto the rod, and I know every single hair is gonna be smooth and perfect, and it's gonna be permed into that perfect little curl, not a ratty mess. These little guys that are poking out, I think I'm just gonna comb them down, and we're gonna cover them in cotton and make sure they're protected, so that way you know, they're not getting chemicals on them, because we don't need to worry about those. We're gonna leave those just natural. We're just adding some extra curl and bounce on top. Get our little pompadour. You also wanna make sure your ends are fully wrapped smoothly, that you're not getting any fish hooks in the ends or anything like that. All right, add a little more water up here, keep everything nice and moist. That cringy word that everyone hates. And I got everything ready to go before my client came. That's a really important thing too, that you know, if you don't always have time, it can be hard, then you're running behind. But if you can set things up ahead of time, especially if you know what kind of services that you're doing, that will save you a lot of stress and grief when it comes down to it. I'm going to re-wrap this one because I wasn't happy with the tension, and I want to make sure, like I said, that the tension is fully smooth and even across the rod. If it's loose on one side and all tight on the other side, then you're not going to get a nice curl. So I'm going to make sure everything's nice and smooth, and I'm going to re-wrap it. And even though it takes another minute, it's going to make my end result so much better. All right, there we go. Much better. All right, so we'll keep moving along here. And I always do like to put parting, or put picks in my perms, picks in my perms, say that 5 times fast, to keep the straps off the hair as well. So I make sure when I'm wrapping it that the strap goes across the top of the rod. And I'm also going to make sure that I go back and put those picks in there to get everything nice and secure. And it helps when you're rinsing too, if the picks will hold it in place a bit. So I like them. I like to have control. So that's part of it too, just making sure I have control over everything. Control, making sure the hair is perfectly in that shape I want it to be in, so I know it's going to be a nice perm. And I'm using 2 papers like a sandwich, end papers here, and that's helping because there are some layers and such in the hair that I want to make sure are all nice and evenly wrapped around the rod and not getting all frizzy and wild at the ends. So having the longer section of the paper covering everything really helps. Just a few more rods and then we'll be putting the solution on. I do have to find my picks though. I think that is the one thing I did forget to set up, but I hopefully they're in my drawer up here. I don't have to search too far for them. Yeah, that's the worst. When you didn't get something set up, you go to look for it and you can't find it, and your client's just sitting there waiting, and you're like, I don't know where my stuff is. So the more you can get prepared, the better, so you're not scrambling. Of course, life happens. You know, don't beat yourself up about it, but the more you can prevent that stress, the better. And we're just doing a traditional crokinole wrap.
But I'm like, Mom, if you leave him here,
Let me know if any of them are too tight or
so if you think you want him,
uncomfortable.
you have to
Okay. I'm gonna just mist this one more time so everything's evenly wet. And then get my little box out, and I'm gonna make sure I read the instructions, just because I've done them a million times. I don't want to trust myself because they might have changed their formula or something, and maybe they added a step or took away a step, so you gotta double check. That's Spanish. I need English. Mixing 1 and 2 are mixed together. That's my neutralizer. And this is 1 and 2. So I'm going to put my neutralizer back in the box for later. And then mix my 1 and 2. I'm going to do a little shake, but not a big shake. And then I got some extra towels. One for you. Put an extra one around your neck. Be nice and cozy. And then you want to do a pass back and forth on top and bottom of each rod to make sure the hair is fully saturated. I'm keeping this handy just in case anything drips. Try to prevent any chemicals in the eye. No one likes that. It's frowned upon. And then I got a cap.
I just don't think that whatever happens.
Okay, we're getting ready for another test curl. We did one in about 10 minutes, but it was totally not ready yet. So we're hoping this one will be ready. I think we still have maybe another 5 minutes or so. We're getting antsy to check. This second test curl is going to be ready. So let's see what we got. I'm going to check a different rod this time. And the same thing, just unroll it a bit. Time to rinse. Neutralize time. It's going to be cold. I'm going to pull the picks while the neutralizer is doing its thing. Is that temperature okay? You want another cloth for your eyes? Sure. The rods can be kind of splashy, so this makes it nice. Curly!
Oh my goodness.
Alright, I'm going to get it a little bit dry for you, so it doesn't look so noodly. To share, we are done, so go have fun. And don't forget to make a comment if you have something nice to say.